What's up, NERF herders? This is Alan from OC Nerf, and today we are going to be going over the thrifting haul for the month of March. So as thrifting videos have been coming along, the one mainstay is that I've been very picky as I've been coming across them. Pretty much if it is something that really interests me or it's a really good deal, I'm being very stingy about what I actually pick up and what I actually don't. If the price doesn't match up with what I think is worth it for the blaster, it's not happening. There's also a couple of things that I ended up selling. I don't remember, one of them was an Alpha Trooper. I don't remember what the other stuff was. I also apologize for not having a lot of new content recently. I've been working on a new job venture, so it's taken up a lot of my time. I do apologize for that, but with that in mind, I hope that things will kind of pick up, settle, and I'll be on a much more regular filming schedule for stuff on the build log that I haven't put up in a while, and it will be coming up. I'll have new content for you on reviews as well and other mod projects that I've got going on. I also have been busy with a few contracts recently for NERF. I know NWAR and NVZ are coming up in June, and if you're unfamiliar with those two, NVZ is the original event named Nation versus Zombies. It was an event that ran last year, and it ran pretty well. There was a lot of people that got really excited about it. It was a giant NERF war over in, I think it was Missouri State. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but it ran last June and it was awesome. However, this year, with a conflict of interest between leaderships, it split into two different groups. So we have NVZ still running over in West Virginia, and I believe NWAR is running in the original NVZ location, which is in Ohio still, Athens, Ohio. So both of those events will be running in June. Good luck to all those people that are going. At this time, I don't see myself making the trip to either NVZ or NWAR this year. Maybe sometime in the future, but it's just not going to happen this year. Mainly for financial reasons. As I mentioned, I'm taking on a new job venture, so that did require some transitions. And I'm still in the middle of those transitions, so being very conscious about making big trips and making those kinds of decisions in the future. The other thing, however, that I will be going to that's fairly big and has been fairly long stay is Armageddon 18. So Armageddon 18 is in my neck of the woods. It's about 30 minutes that way. It's about 30 minutes that way from where I am. And so that's definitely very doable for me. In fact, my uncle lives over there in that same city that they're going to have it. So this is all local stuff. I'm definitely going to be there. This will be happening in Southern California. I'll make sure to have as much information about NVZ, NWAR, and Armageddon in the description box below, so check that out. I hope to see you at least at Armageddon if you're close to the Southern California area, but Armageddon is the largest SoCal NIC war, and it happens once a year. I'm super stoked, super excited. I've got a number of people from this channel, a number of friends that are coming, so this is going to be pretty awesome. Some of them for the first time. So what I'm planning to do for those is I'm planning on hosting a couple of wars, one in April, one in May, dates to be determined, locations to be determined, but it will be around where, around in Southern California, around in Orange County specifically. And we'll be kind of doing a couple of short game days that will be focusing around getting us prepared for running around and shooting each other with NERF blasters and getting good at knowing how to play some of the game types, and just kind of being familiar with the blasters that we'll be using. So that'll be super fun. If you're in the Orange County area, please check my Facebook down below. I'll be sure to start posting information about that. Side note about my Facebook, I have also started posting up some short snippets of content on my Facebook. Basically things that don't require me to put in as much time and effort to film, edit, set up as the stuff that goes on this main channel. I started putting on there. So if you want to go ahead and check out that Facebook page, it's going to have a link in the description below, or it might show up here. and I will hopefully connect with you there, so you can kind of contact me directly on Facebook as well. And you can kind of check out some of the photos, some of the videos, things that I've been doing. There's been a couple little tiny updates. Hopefully there will be more. And now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video, which is the thrifting episode. So as I mentioned, there's stuff that I got here that I really just thought were amazing deals. Let's start off with things that I thought were kind of smaller stuff. This one's for you, Clowny. I found one of these in a thrifting bag that had a couple of other things that I did want. One of them was this, not necessarily for its performance, but mainly for the fact that I know it's one of your favorites. It is the slingshot, or whatever it was called. You'll know the name of this. So Clowny, if you're watching this, please respond. Let me know what the name of this is. Sling something? NERF. It's NERF related. It's sling something. It fits these same ball types as the reactor, which I've already fired. It goes about 7 feet, in case anybody was curious. I love these, so I've picked up yet another double strike. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna put these on this side. And I picked up another one of these. This is, I think, was one of the reasons why I wanted that bag of stuff with that slingshot in there, was because of this little beauty. Don't remember which one this is. I think it was the Pink Crush. It used to have, yeah, it used to have the attachment on the front. I don't have any Pink Crushers that actually have that bow arm attachment, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I probably would have taken it off anyway. It's much more to use Captain Xavier's word svelte, so I can just kind of tuck that away. I also picked it up for this, and unfortunately I didn't check it out all the way, and it doesn't have its pump. I just saw this and I was like, ooh, that's cool. I want more of those. And I noticed it didn't have its top button, but that was okay. But I didn't notice that it didn't have its pump, which shouldn't be too bad. I can probably just replace that pump with another one of these that I've busted up in the past, working on to an integration. So I'll be sure to do that. Those things all kind of came together in a bag for like $3, along with this, which is a pump. That came in the bag. This came in the bag. I might tack this onto a blaster of some kind and just kind of have it be dangling like this, maybe for some kind of cosplay thing. Who knows? And it also came with this thing in the bag. Didn't have any ammunition in it, but you kind of put, it's a NERF, probably came from some kind of Happy Meal toy or some kind of toy like that, and you kind of put something in there and release it. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, but there it is. It's even got a little bit of a sight on top. All right. And then I found this for not very much, but I found one of these, and you know how much I love sharp fires. It came with everything included. Did I already? No, I didn't. I was like, did I upgrade this yet? No, I don't think I did. This is still straight up from the box. So this is pretty awesome. I've got quite a number of sharp fires. I've collected them, and I've been meaning to get the rest of them modded up. All right. Last thing in the bag, this came with one of the blasters I picked up. I kind of just threw it on. That's kind of what I do with attachments that I see and I like. I'll just find another one of the blasters for a good price that I do actually want, and I'll throw on a stock attachment point, or, you know, a front barrel, something, some optic, some dart storage, and I'll just kind of stick everything on there and get it all for one good price. But these stocks are awesome. Pretty good. Okay. Then we get to this guy over here. I find Iron Man masks all the time, but this one was actually in more or less complete condition, minus whatever used to go in these side things, and I'm sure launched out at you. But everything else kind of works out with it. It's a bit tight for my big old head, but I can put it on.
critical.
What's cool about this guy is, maybe you can see it on my hand here, but you can see that the light it shows has a little targeting radical right there, like right there. So that's pretty cool. You can see it on my arm better. Yep, so that little light there is not just a light. I think that was pretty sweet. All right, so I've got a Iron Man mask to add to my mask collection. I also picked up an Iron Man toy. My wife picked up a Wolverine toy for me, and I saw Logan twice, by the way. I mentioned it in my last thrifting video or some other video that you guys should go watch Logan. You guys should still go watch Logan. I watched it on opening weekend, and then my birthday came the week after, and a friend of mine took me to go see it again. So, and my wife came and watched it twice with me, and she's not even that big of a fan, but she loved it and watched it twice. So yes, you should absolutely watch that movie. I think it's phenomenal. Okay, enough talking about that stuff. This didn't feel like an empty bag. Oh, darts. Darts. All right, one of my classic favorites, a big bad bow. Functions, has the bow arms, which may probably not be keeping, and the string, but I love the big bad bow. All right, let's see. I got this because I didn't have it before. Dart Zone toy. Thought that was kind of cool. It turned out the performance was actually pretty poor. Not when it shot a dart, but because of the many misfires that it had. But it is the Power Bolt. This is the Dart Zone Power Bolt, and the way it works is it's slam fire only. You pull it back, and then once you get to the very end, then it fires. And it uses a belt system, which has proven to be rather ineffective as far as being consistent with its firing. I get a lot of jams with it. It's got a really tight dart fit though, so that's kind of interesting. Sometimes it's a little bit too tight. It pops up in here. This closes. You can kind of take the belt off, put it back on, lock it back down, and you're ready to fire again. It's got faux rails. It's been pretty cool. Now, what I'm probably going to end up using this for is for shell material, because I do actually rather like the ergonomics and the look of this shell. Excuse me. I'm going to end up using it for something I am sure, and cutting it up for an integration. I think this is pretty awesome. This is rather unique. So there's a lot of parts to this that I think would be really cool in other shells. So I'm going to go ahead and probably use it for that. Then I picked up another Titan. The power gauge does eventually work. There it goes. So the power gauge does work, and obviously it holds air and it shoots it out really nicely. The old Titan. There we go. Now this next one I didn't really know too much about just looking at it, but when I fired it for the first time, I thought, wow, that actually sounds like it's got one heck of a pop to it. It takes these reactor balls as well, and it has a trigger. So unlike an actual reactor, which you just kind of hamp style, this is also using a trigger. So it works in this manner. I like to hold it like this, and like to find this grip spot here. This is called a trigger fire. I picked it up for $3. I do this and fire it. So that is pretty loud, that is pretty powerful. As I mentioned, it takes these balls. There's about 3 of them that can fit in there. I've got 2 in there right now. And that's what it does with them. Now, Bobo Bob had mentioned that this thing was internally something the size of an ERTL pass, pump action shotgun, and it's just in its different form, basically. So I'm really curious about how to do these internals and what I can do with them. So super excited about that. I saw it, I knew I had to pick it up, so I'm pretty happy with it. Get these balls out of the way. There we go. I picked up a purse blaster. Oh, by the way, if you were on my Facebook, you probably saw that. I did a quick little video on that. I also did a quick, betterly edited video about this, I think. I was just trying to test out some things on my Facebook, but I got the Rebel Purse Blaster, which oddly enough, for as small as these grips are rather ergonomic. And if you watch that video on my Facebook, I talk about the firing demonstration for this and how easy it is, and I'm probably going to do something with it to more cosmetically and functionally a little bit more tactical, basically. And so you can kind of strap it to your back, open it up, pull it out, and pop it all out. This is a 4-shot slam fire pump action mini purse gun, and I think it's pretty cool. So there's that. Now I picked up a pair of twins because they were right next to each other in the same bin. I picked up a couple of XD Elite Alpha Troopers. I also did a video on this on my Facebook. So yeah, you guys should check that out and get kind of early content about some of the things that might end up on this channel. But yep, they both work just fine. They were right next to each other in the same bin. I don't know who donated them, but thanks. One came with a 6-round mag and the other one was empty. I stuck the stock attachment point that I showed you earlier in here and did really well with it. So that was a pretty awesome pickup. This one I haven't had before. I love my bows. And I think this is pretty cool. I haven't had it before. And it is the original bow and arrow. Not the original color scheme that was released. I think this is a later release. I don't remember what year. But this is a bow and arrow. And it works just fine. It was in pretty poor condition and I have since then cleaned it up. I don't know if you can see, but it looked like it was left out in the dirt in a shed somewhere. And you know, it just needed a little love. So I cleaned it all up. Everything was working nice and pretty. It did have the strings with it, but I cut off the strings because they were in poor shape and they were just kind of affecting everything else. And I probably would have cut them off anyway. So yes, that's how it works. I'm pretty happy and stoked that I got one of those. Nice vintage find right there. Those bow and arrows actually function, I believe, better than the blazing bow and the big bad bow. The last thing that I picked up was a Star Wars find, and I picked that up at a bargain bin, and I'm super stoked about it. I know this is last year's Star Wars release, but I still wanted it, and I never got it at a good price, or at least a price that I would agree to. But now I have it, and being a fan of Star Wars and Han Solo himself, I have his DL-44. This comes with everything. I mean, it's still got the original string in place. It's got the darts in place, so usually when you'll find something like that, the strings might be cut off and it's like packing taped up, the darts might be missing and what have you. But this is in excellent condition. I'm not sure why this got put into a bargain bin, but here it is and I got it for a great deal. Yep, and I'll put it right there. So that's the stuff that I picked up for this month of March. It's a lot smaller and it's probably going to continue to get smaller as a couple of problems are happening, which is running out of space, and also like I mentioned, kind of the new job direction. So there's a lot of things that I do have, and I've been kind of slowly getting rid of them. So if you, as I mentioned before, if you ever see anything in my videos that you think I would probably love to get my hands on that, shoot me a message and let me know what you would offer for it. And I'll go ahead and entertain that thought. You can shoot me a message at ocnerfherder@gmail.com. Again, that will be in the description box below. Also for modifications, I have had a couple of people since my last video talking about it, excuse me, reach out to me actually for contract builds, which is awesome because as I mentioned in that video, that the contract builds help me kind of continue this channel. I love building stuff. I love building stuff for you guys. And if I can make money on it, that helps this channel all the more. So go ahead and message me if you have some question. You're like, what if you can do this? Or that thing that you did in that other video, how much would it cost to make me one? Let me know. I will be as fair as possible, and I will get back to you on that on my email. So ocnerfherder@gmail.com if you're looking for some commission builds. I can go ahead and do that. I don't have a limit on what the commissions are. Just pitch me your idea, whatever blaster it is. If I have it, great. If I don't, you'll need to get it for me, or I'll need to find it. That's about it. Excuse me. So I will probably have a separate video talking about commissions a little bit more, but that's about it for now. I'm also thinking about, in the future, resolving my issue with 3D printers. So I used to do a lot of 3D printing on this channel, and I haven't since, and there's a specific reason for that. I basically need a new 3D printer, or figuring out what to do with this existing one, because it's not working. And speaking of 3D printing, check out my man Boomtendo, who's also been doing some awesome stuff with Boomco 3D printed hammer shot cylinders. I'm sure he's got a whole lot of other ideas that he's just can't wait to get his hands on, but thus far I believe he's been pretty darn busy making those hammer shot cylinders. So what he's got, check out his channel, but he's got a 10 dart hammer shot cylinder that shoots Boomco darts, and he's also got a 10 dart hammer shot cylinder that shoots Boomco darts 2 at a time. So you either get 10 shots single fire, or you'll get basically a hammer shotgun. I liked do you think he called it Bammer shot? I like the boom hammer as well. So thank you guys for watching. This is the March thrifting episode. Be sure to check out all the other thrifting channels out there. Evan B, please get back to your channel. I would love to see more of your content. I miss it, man. Blono used to do a lot of thrifting, but I think he's in a dry spell. And you know, that part of the country does actually get the things called snow and cold weather, unlike beautiful, sunny California. This light that's coming in here is light from outside. It's probably in the high 60s outside, no clouds in the sky. It's Southern California, guys. Zach from Naptown NERF, he always has some awesome stuff for thrifting. Brando gets his weekly thrifting stuff. You know who I haven't seen do much thrifting? Fun Uncle, man. Where have you been? So I'm just kind of calling people out here and there, just trying to see if they can get their content and stuff up and running. So let me know, and I'll check you guys out later. Nerf on, everybody.